Senhoras e senhores, boa tarde. Tudo bem? Vou dar 30 segundos para todo mundo se acomodar aqui. Desculpem aqui um pouquinho de atraso aqui, mas esse é o nosso primeiro evento de self-storage, então tudo ainda está acontecendo conforme a gente vai caminhando e começando. Eu queria aqui algumas rápidas palavras, começar abrindo o nosso evento, agradecendo a presença de todos. Esse evento nasceu de uma ideia, questão de 10 ou 12 meses atrás. Então, para aqueles que estão envolvidos, vocês vão ver algumas das pessoas que estavam envolvidas aqui, o Flávio, o Renato, né, e o nosso grupo que está desenvolvendo essa atividade aqui. Especialmente para mim, que estava desde o começo dessa ideia, dá um orgulho enorme poder ver, né, a sala cheia e vocês, de alguma maneira, compartilhando o desejo de aprender mais sobre o setor, entender o que está sendo feito e ajudar a gente a desenvolver. Então, obrigado pela presença de todos. Eu tenho que seguir um certo protocolo, então a primeira coisa que me pediram para avisar, vocês lembram desses tais aparelhinhos? A gente pede para desligar, botar no vibracol, para a gente poder correr com andar com a nossa sessão. Acho que, em linhas gerais, o grande objetivo, quando a gente desenhou originalmente esse evento, foi o de criar um espaço para compartilhar conhecimento. Quer dizer, é uma oportunidade onde a gente queria trazer operadores, fornecedores de produtos e serviços do setor, tanto nacionais quanto estrangeiros, para que pudessem conversar sobre o setor de self-storage, entender o que está sendo feito no Brasil, entender o que é que está sendo feito no exterior, para que a gente possa aprender com os erros e, eventualmente, superar alguns desafios, né, evitando cometer os mesmos equívocos. E, mais do que isso, que a gente pudesse atrair eventuais interessados em entrar nesse setor, ou aqueles que estão querendo crescer e expandir, para que a gente possa fazer isso com um nível de qualidade, com um padrão reconhecido, que ajude a desenvolver esse setor de uma maneira estruturada, organizada, né? A gente vem trabalhando muito ao longo dos últimos anos, e grande parte disso com o apoio do Secov aqui, que tem, né, apoiado a organização e o desenvolvimento e a discussão desse setor. E acho que a gente aqui, a partir desse evento, dá um salto de qualidade. E espero que vocês enxerguem isso nas atividades, que vocês usem bastante, tanto as palestras que a gente vai ter hoje e amanhã, quanto o contato com os fornecedores que estão lá fora, para realmente tirar dúvidas, debater, entender, quer dizer, aproveitar da experiência de todos que estão circulando aqui para ajudar a gente a seguir em frente. Vocês vão ouvir bastante aqui sobre o setor, vocês vão ver assim, o quanto tem a se fazer, né? O quanto a gente tem de oportunidade, o quanto a gente tem de crescimento pela frente. Então, é importante a gente fazer isso de uma maneira organizada. Então, obrigado de novo pela presença de todos. Eu queria agradecer especialmente a presença de algumas pessoas aqui, em nome de todos. Primeiro, o senhor Silvio Torres, secretário de Estado da Habitação, neste ato representando o excelentíssimo senhor Geraldo Alckmin, governador do Estado de São Paulo. Muito obrigado. O senhor Cláudio Bernardes, presidente do Secov e reitor da Universidade Secov, que tem dado um grande apoio e nos ajudado a vencer as etapas aqui que a gente está percorrendo no nosso setor. Cláudio, obrigado. O Flávio, que é da Inbox, vocês vão conhecer um pouco mais, ele vai falar um pouco, além de ser um operador, né, e ao longo desse tempo se tornou aí um grande amigo, está ajudando a gente a desenvolver esse negócio. E junto com o Flávio, vou agradecer ao Renato, que está aqui atrás também, tem sido dois grandes companheiros e parceiros no desenvolvimento dessa atividade toda. E a todos vocês, senhoras e senhores, obrigado pela participação, espero que vocês gostem do nosso evento. Bom, eu vou passar a palavra agora para o Flávio, que eu acabei de apresentar. Acho que ele vai falar aqui em nome do nosso grupo de self-storage. É um grupo que existe dentro do Secov, é um grupo de trabalho, um grupo de discussão, e a partir do qual nasce também, a partir desse evento, a Associação Brasileira de Self-Storage, que tem uma visão mais ampla, uma visão de Brasil, e que, portanto, está aberta à participação de todos. Tá bom? Com isso, eu queria chamar o Flávio. Obrigado.
Deixa eu ajustar aqui o microfone, o cara é meio baixinho. Bom, basicamente aquilo que eu iria dizer, ele já disse, então eu vou tentar improvisar um pouco o meu texto aqui. Próxima vez escreve o seu texto e não copia o meu, né? Bom, muito boa tarde a todos, bem-vindos. Para quem ainda não me conhece, eu sou o Flávio Del Soldato Júnior, eu sou diretor da Inbox, Guarda Tudo, empresa de self-storage que iniciou suas atividades em São Paulo em 1996. Sou diretor do grupo de trabalho de Self Storage, aqui no Secov, e presidente da recém-criada ASBRASS, Associação Brasileira de Self Storage. É uma honra participar da abertura do primeiro evento internacional de Self Storage realizado no Brasil. Eu agradeço especialmente ao Secov pelo apoio total e irrestrito à iniciativa e o excelente trabalho realizado por sua equipe de eventos. Agradeço aos patrocinadores e expositores, nacionais e internacionais, por acreditarem no potencial do Self Storage no Brasil. Agradeço a todos vocês pela presença, o que certamente fará com que o evento seja um sucesso. Esse evento acontece em um momento realmente especial para o setor. Em 1993, há exatos 20 anos, a Kipet, primeira empresa de self-storage do Brasil, é inaugurada pelo senhor Eduardo Belotti. Em 2013, através de um trabalho coordenado pelo Secov, obtivemos o reconhecimento do IBGE, que classifica o self-storage no KNAI 68102, ou seja, aluguel de imóveis, afastando definitivamente nossa atividade da prestação de serviços, pois somos efetivamente locadoras de espaço para a guarda de produtos de terceiros e por terceiros. O Estado de São Paulo, que em 99 regulamentou a atividade, está nesse momento incluindo o KNAI 68102 na portaria CAT 6999. Buscamos ainda a regulamentação junto à Prefeitura de São Paulo, principalmente por estarmos discutindo questões de ocupação e uso de solo, através do novo plano diretor e do self-storage merecer um tratamento especial em relação às demais atividades, em função de suas peculiaridades. Após 18 anos de experiência no setor, convencido estou de que o trabalho em grupo é fundamental e somente a união fortalece nossas iniciativas. O self-storage ainda é atividade desconhecida da grande maioria das pessoas que um dia certamente utilizará o self-storage como a solução ideal para a falta de espaço. Precisamos divulgar de forma incansável e criativa. Finalizo convidando as empresas de self-storage aqui presentes a participar de nosso grupo, na busca de seus objetivos comuns. Muito obrigado e um ótimo evento.
Flávio, obrigado. Eu gostaria, então, de convidar o senhor Cláudio Bernardes, presidente do Secov, reitor da Universidade Secov, para falar um pouquinho para nós.
Senhores, muito boa tarde. Queria, antes de tudo, cumprimentar o meu amigo Silvio Torres, que já é um companheiro da casa aqui. É uma casa que é, teoricamente, chamada Casa da Habitação, mas é a casa que envolve todas as atividades imobiliárias. E a gente vai pelo mundo aí, a gente dificilmente vê uma entidade como o Secov, que congrega todas as atividades imobiliárias, desde a produção do espaço urbano até a operação dos edifícios e dos condomínios. Então, eu queria agradecer muito a presença de todos vocês aqui, principalmente agradecer esse grupo de trabalho que se formou aqui no Secov, com o objetivo de estruturar essa atividade tão importante. E, em seu nome, Flávio, agradecer a todos vocês que estão trabalhando nesse processo tão importante. Queria agradecer também por vocês terem propiciado a todos aqueles que se interessam por essa atividade, esse evento, que nesses 2 dias nós vamos ter a chance de conhecer em detalhes um segmento que ainda, como vocês falaram, é recente no Brasil, principalmente se a gente comparar com outros países como os Estados Unidos. Aqui no Brasil, essa é uma nova cultura que está sendo formada e, sem dúvida, trata-se de um novo produto imobiliário com o qual nós temos que ter todo o cuidado. Como o Flávio já falou, recentemente nós fizemos ações junto ao IBGE para poder conseguir classificar o self-storage como uma atividade imobiliária, uma vez que efetivamente é uma locação de espaços e não uma prestação de serviços. Com relação a isso, nós estamos tendo algum problema ainda na Prefeitura de São Paulo, que quer entender isso como uma prestação de serviços, mas seguramente com o trabalho bem feito que está sendo proporcionado aí pelo grupo de trabalho, nós vamos conseguir mudar essa visão da própria Prefeitura. Essa é uma atividade, então, que é representada pelo Secov. E a exemplo do que nós fazemos em toda a cadeia imobiliária, nós temos que estar objetivando aprimorar cada vez mais, estruturar cada vez mais e fazer com que essa atividade realmente cresça no Brasil. O que é ainda incipiente, hoje nós temos aí 83 estabelecimentos no Brasil. Estava conversando com o Patrick aqui, agora nos Estados Unidos nós temos 50 mil, né? Eu não quero adiantar a palestra dele, mas ele me falou números absolutamente estonteantes de faturamento do self-storage nos Estados Unidos, e ele vai, acho que, contar para vocês na palestra dele, né? É importante destacar também que, por meio de iniciativas como essa, que se realiza pela primeira vez na América Latina, nós temos a oportunidade de não só divulgar esse segmento, mas trocar experiências, o que é muito importante, e já foi levantado isso aqui. Aqui estão reunidas as principais empresas desse mercado nos Estados Unidos, apresentando seus produtos, serviços, soluções, e também especialistas no setor com quem nós vamos trocar conhecimentos e experiências. Sem dúvida, será um grande aprendizado para todos. Além disso, nós vamos tentar tirar daqui elementos importantes para fundamentar ainda o nosso diálogo com o poder público, especialmente no âmbito municipal, como eu já falei, que a gente ainda carece de uma regulamentação mais adequada. Essa é uma das bandeiras da diretoria de self-storage do Secov, né, fazer essa estruturação institucional e legal, porque nós sabemos que o potencial desse mercado para gerar empregos, gerar novos negócios e gerar dividendos para o país é muito grande. Senhores, eu desejo a todos aí um produtivo evento e parabéns de novo para a diretoria de Self Storage por esse evento. Obrigado.
Cláudio, muito obrigado. Bom, eu gostaria então agora de apresentar e convidar aqui o senhor Silvio Torres, que é secretário do Estado da Habitação, neste ato representando o excelentíssimo senhor Geraldo Alckmin, governador do Estado de São Paulo. Senhor Silvio.
Boa tarde a todas e a todos. Em primeiro lugar, Cláudio, em seu nome, eu queria trazer aqui o abraço do governador Geraldo Alckmin a todos os colaboradores do Secov, como você disse, um grande parceiro, não só da habitação, um grande parceiro do governo de São Paulo, que tem nos ajudado a fazer de São Paulo esse exemplo de Estado nas iniciativas de vanguarda, nas iniciativas mais adequadas para todo o setor. E o Secov, que nos ajudou, inclusive, a formular novos projetos na área de habitação, não só em São Paulo, como no Brasil. É realmente uma entidade que tem todos os méritos e toda a capacidade para poder fazer desenvolver um novo setor, que é o do self-storage, que hoje faz o seu primeiro Trade Show Education aqui em São Paulo. E, como representante do governador, eu queria dar as boas-vindas ao evento aqui em São Paulo, né? Foi lembrado pelo Cláudio que são 83 empresas no Brasil, 62 estão localizadas no estado de São Paulo. E eu espero que o mais rápido possível o setor consiga alcançar as metas que se propõe, porque tem o potencial para isso. Eu queria cumprimentar o Cláudio, cumprimentar o Flávio de Soltato, desejar boa sorte também, como não só na sua atividade particular, como também como diretor da vice-presidência. O Alan, cumprimentar o Alan, que é o vice-presidente de gestão patrimonial, um dos organizadores desse evento. Mas é muito rápido, né, gente? Palavras brevíssimas, viu, Cláudio? Eu não sei como o governo de São Paulo pode ajudar a fazer com que as coisas ocorram mais rapidamente, mas eu quero me colocar à disposição, né, na Secretaria da Fazenda, ver o que nós podemos fazer para ajudar. Posso falar com o nosso secretário Calab para ver se conseguimos acertar essa situação. Uma portaria desde 1999, portanto, já meio defasada em relação à própria atividade. Mas também quero colocar à disposição a Secretaria de Habitação. Eu acabava de contar aqui para o Alan, o Cláudio já conhece, o nosso projeto de parceria público-privada, que nós vamos lançar o edital de licitação até agora, no próximo dia 15. O governo de São Paulo, através de uma parceria público-privada, vai construir 20.200 moradias na região central de São Paulo. E a ideia não é apenas de dar moradia para a população de São Paulo que trabalha no centro e mora fora, que é um grande vazio, o centro de São Paulo. Para dar uma ideia para vocês de o quanto o centro precisa de população, a subprefeitura da Sé é a maior das subprefeituras da capital. Ela concentra 17% dos empregos gerados na capital de São Paulo e tem apenas 3% da população. Então, há um descasamento, né, evidente, que precisa de uma intervenção em larga escala, que é o que o governo de São Paulo pretende fazer com essa PPP, em parceria com a Prefeitura Municipal, com o governo federal também. E esses prédios, edifícios que nós vamos construir, as obras que serão construídas, elas são fruto de uma modelagem urbanística totalmente diferenciada, que obriga, inclusive, que todos os edifícios ofereçam também espaços para comércio, para serviços. E a região central de São Paulo, embora bem dotada, tem muitas atividades que ainda não conseguiram se fixar pela questão dos valores de terreno e tal. Então, eu quero aqui adiantar uma ideia, né? Quem sabe o setor possa ser um parceiro, né, daqueles que vão ganhar a licitação. E, na região central de São Paulo, eu tenho certeza que tem um potencial enorme para poder fazer storage. Então, eu estou à disposição para explicar os projetos, logo que tiver um vencedor também colocá-los em contato para poder desenvolver. Então é isso, eu queria vir realmente para trazer um abraço do governador, dizer que São Paulo fica orgulhoso de sediar o evento e mais orgulhoso ainda de saber que São Paulo continua à frente dos novos empreendimentos que o Brasil recebe. Muito obrigado, um grande abraço a todos e bom trabalho aqui. Né?
Bom, meus amigos, acho que com isso nós vamos dar por oficialmente aberto o nosso evento. Eu acho que agora começa uma programação. Eu estou vendo caras conhecidos. Obrigado aos nossos colegas do grupo de trabalho aqui de Self Storage que estão por aqui. Obrigado, bom vê-los aqui. Então, espero que vocês aproveitem bastante, né, esses 2 dias. E que a gente possa tirar realmente muito conhecimento, muito proveito das relações que vão ser criadas aqui, das experiências que vão ser trocadas e do conhecimento que vai ser, né, de alguma maneira, compartilhado. Então, eu gostaria de agradecer muito. Nós vamos dar sequência agora, formalmente, nos trabalhos. Eu vou convidar o David, que tem sido um grande parceiro também na organização desse evento. Eu estou vendo ele com headphone, eu vou pedir para vocês, quem precisar, agora nós vamos entrar numa parte onde nós vamos ter algumas apresentações em inglês. Nós temos a tradução aqui simultânea. Quem precisar do headset, por favor, levante a mão que não tiver ainda. E eu vou chamar o David para apresentar o nosso primeiro speaker de hoje.
Give everybody a chance to put on their headsets. And I will try to speak slowly so that you can listen and understand what I'm saying. I wish to welcome and thank everyone for attending the first ever Latin American Self-Storage Trade Show and Expo, hosted by ASBRASS, the Association of Brazilian Self-Storage Operators, and our generous provider of the show venue, Socovi. As Alan said, my name is David Blum. I am president of a company called Better Management Services located in Florida. However, for the I was president and co-founder of the Florida Self Storage Association 14 years ago. And many of you know my work with first-time developers throughout Brazil and all of Latin America. I have been coming to São Paulo for the past 9 years and throughout all of Brazil for the past 5, and have always envisioned a strong, unified association of Brazilian self-storage operators similar to what we have done in Florida. What started out as a small networking group in South Florida 14 years ago, known as the FSSA, has grown to the 3rd largest association in the United States with over 1,000 members. The association provides educational training meetings and webinars, an executive owner-only retreat, and one of the largest regional trade shows compared to the 2 nationals that some of you have attended in Las Vegas. All one has to do is look around and see how vibrant an industry you have become and envision what can be. This event would not have happened without the strong financial support of our key sponsors, PTI, SiteLink, Chateau, Janus, J.R. Morto, and USC. I encourage you all to visit their tables and stop and talk with the people there. And in addition, the amazing efforts of your leaders, Flavio Del Soldado Jr., Alan Peotti, and Renato Dowd. If any of you are in the room, I'd like these guys again to stand up. All 3 of you. Where's Renato? He disappeared. There you are. Okay, stand up. These are the guys that made it happen. Over the next 2 days, you will hear from the current CEO of the Self Storage Association, Patrick Riley, who I'll have the pleasure of introducing shortly, speakers specifically chosen to discuss pertinent topics for this region, a question and answer panel of operators gathered throughout Latin America, and of course, both local and international vendor displays, and in a relaxed venue, capped off tonight with a networking cocktail reception. I encourage everyone to take advantage of the opportunity to mingle and meet one of the most diverse group of industry professionals gathered in one location. I will tell you from all of my years of experience attending and participating in trade shows, this is by far one of the best turnouts I've seen. I'd like to introduce, introduce the source, okay. A little change in the schedule, so I'm going to change that around a little bit. Right now, it's my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker. I need to get my glasses for that. I won't. I'm going to paraphrase. Don't worry. Patrick Riley is president and CEO of Urban Self Storage, Inc., and a top national self-storage operator, ranked in the top 50 nationally each year for over the past 10 years of owners of self-storage facilities, and president and creator of Urban Work Lofts, both based in Seattle, Washington. Patrick is the past National Self-Storage Association Treasurer, past Self-Storage Association Secretary, and current and incoming Self-Storage Association Chairman of the Board. He is also past chair of the Self-Storage Association Conference Committee, past chair of the National Affiliated Association Council for the U.S. Self-Storage State Self-Storage Associations. He has developed and led many key projects and initiatives for the Self-Storage Association, including the Self-Storage Data Project with Reese, a leading U.S. real estate market industry research firm based in New York City, social media platform for the storage industry, and the workshop education events offered at the Self-Storage Association Spring Concert. He is current president of the Washington Self-Storage Association and has served in different roles with the WASA board since its formation. I'm going to skip a little bit, okay? Patrick formerly Patrick worked at Microsoft. His experience and expertise include programming, system design, analysis, market research, business development, reporting functionality and design, financial analysis, financial transaction processing, reporting and research for product development. Patrick attended Eastern Washington University, Computer Information Systems, and Seattle University of Business Administration. Please, a warm welcome for our keynote speaker today, Patrick Riley.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here today. And before we start, I'd like to say bon dia and a little bit about my family. My grandmother was from Portugal. She immigrated to the United States when she was 12. And she didn't learn to speak English until she was about 14. So she had such a difficult time speaking English that she did not teach any of her kids or any of her grandchildren Portuguese. So I apologize for my grandmother, and I regret that the rest will be in English. It's my honor to be here today at such a special event, to speak to all of you at what I believe will be a historic day in the growth of the self-storage industry, not only in Brazil, but the entire Latin American self-storage industry. I salute those like David, Renato, Flavio, and Alan, who have had the foresight and the vision to create this event. I think in the years to come, you'll see how significant it was. I'm sure that there'll be many, many more, and I'm sure that your self-storage industry will blossom into what the U.S. has become over the last 30 years. They'll look back at this event as a keystone, a very promising beginning. Much gratitude for all the leaders that have shown this vision here in this great city of Sao Paulo. A great discussion has begun. An important forum has been engaged and started. It's very important for the future of the self-storage industry here in Latin America that you have an association supporting your efforts. And I'll talk more about that in my presentation. Once again, my name is Patrick Riley. I'm the chairman of the Self-Storage Association. I've been there for 2 terms and served on the board for over 7 years, so I've seen a lot of change and a lot of production. My goal here today is to help you learn from our mistakes, help you engage the things that were productive for us. I've been involved in the self-storage industry since the early 90s. As David said previously, I was at Microsoft. I decided to divest myself and invest some of my stock into other real estate. And after researching many different businesses, I decided on self-storage. I thought it was interesting at that time, self-storage facilities were still using what are known as ledger card systems to keep track of rents. No computers were used. So I met my future real estate partner, Lauren Christine, who was a pioneer in the self-storage industry in the U.S. He built 20 facilities from 1970 to 1980, and then decided in 1980 that, boy, everybody's getting into this business, I better sell. And big mistake. So he decided by the time I met him in 1990 to get back into the business, converting existing buildings into self-storage in urban areas. Previously, most self-storage in the 70s were in suburban areas where they were single-story. The self-storage industry was expanding and changing quickly. Our business was doing very well by the mid-90s. I went back to Microsoft to head up some important internet initiatives. Decided to leave at the end of 1996 and get back and really refocus my energy on self-storage. One of the things that attracted me to self-storage, the self-storage industry, is very entrepreneurial. And with that entrepreneurial spirit comes a sort of secretiveness, because much of the success of a self-storage facility is rooted in its location, people are very hesitant to discuss what they're working on. And unfortunately, this strategy or this policy of confidentiality extends into when they start doing business, both marketing and operations. And this is something that has hurt the national self-storage industry in the U.S. because when laws and initiatives and regulation and financing required data and information, we didn't have any. We hadn't been sharing information. So one of the initiatives that I oversaw at the National Self-Storage Association, there had been some self-storage almanacs which provided data from anywhere from 200 to 800 facilities on occupancy, rental rates, unit sizes, types of customers. We commissioned a demand study to go out to over 20,000 self-storage customers and also both current and previously customers of self-storage to find out why they were storing, where they came from, and I'm going to share some of that information with you today. As well, we wanted to build up a network of self-storage facilities that would give their data on a quarterly basis to a third-party analyst on Wall Street in New York by the name of Reese. And our target was to double what the largest previous survey had been, and that was about 1,600. We immediately changed that to 5,000, a sampling of 5,000 facilities quarterly, once Reese told us that in order to develop relevant numbers for the entire country, they'd need at least 5,000 within a year and a half of starting this project. That was about a year and a half ago. I'm happy to report that in an industry that was once closely guarded and wouldn't share anything, we have 12,000 facilities participating in this data program. And it's been very important to the capital markets and also banks in terms of financing, as well as when we have updated industry laws. We have the information about who the consumer is and fighting sales tax and enabling us to perform lien sales in order to remove delinquent tenants and so forth. So why an industry association? The ASAE, which is, believe it or not, an association of association executives. They define it as associations have the power to transform society for the better. They help respective communities and their members achieve goals and performance in areas that are inherently collective in nature. So they provide a forum for folks that are working on private initiatives to share information and cooperate to pass laws and to change zoning laws and to provide capital. We accomplish more as an industry when we cooperate and share information. So why should we share information with our competitors? And ultimately, as we come to these meetings, you will see folks that you're friendly with and that you understand are operating in different cities, but you still may view them as competitors. So things that you're doing marketing-wise, areas that you want to grow your businesses, you will probably not want to share with them. But there are other things to share with them. So there's a term called cooperation. It's a concept that combines competition and cooperation together, meaning that two or more competitors cooperate in order to create a bigger business pie. And one of the issues and one of the challenges that you have in Brazil and all of Latin America, of course, is to educate the consumer what is self-storage and how do I use it. And the same thing with businesses. So there's much we can do together as an association to promote what self-storage is to the consumer and effectively grow the pie, the amount of business there is available to us. During the same time, we can still compete for bigger pieces of the business. by keeping those things like business strategy and what markets you're operating or looking into private. You can share parts of your business that are cooperative, and you can hold other pieces of information that are competitive to yourself. Historically, the mistake we made in the US is we only looked at it from one way. Competition is competition. And this caused many problems in the regulatory environment. When the government wanted to tax us in other states, we weren't prepared to fight it. And initially, as you all may be doing now, we were trying to adapt our tenant landlord acts, those residential laws for renting apartments into the renting of storage units. And they're very different. They're very different because when somebody is delinquent in a storage unit, you have the ability to, under the law and the regulation, to cut their lock, inventory their items, and hire an auctioneer to sell the belongings so that you can remove them from the locker and then re-rent the space. It's a very important part of our business. And without an association, it'd be very difficult for any one operator to achieve these new laws and these changes that are needed. So by cooperating, we can help protect and promote an industry through our advocacy and consumer awareness. The SSA, the Self Storage Association in the US, formed in 1975, currently approximately 6,000 direct and indirect members, representing over 22,000 self-storage facilities in the US. The board is a 12-person membership elected volunteer self-storage leaders and professional, as well as a chief staff and also president and CEO and staff counsel, staff lawyer. The vision of the SSA is to do everything that they're doing for the membership. So those that are the membership find the common goals and promote those, and protect the investment that each of the members have made into the industry as a whole. Okay, so here are our areas of competency where we've grown to be as an association in the US after almost 40 years of operating, and it's taken a while to get to this point. Data, collection and dissemination of data. As I just said, we have 12,000 facilities participating in this. It's a major accomplishment, and it took us many years to overcome the lack of willingness to participate and share information. So hopefully you can learn from this and begin to share information in the beginning. So the SSA has a partnership with a firm, a third-party firm in New York, and as an association, it's easier to have a neutral position in terms of your members and the competition that may exist. But we took that a step further and brought the expertise of a real estate industry analyst. Advocacy. So both on a federal level, nationally, and also on a state level, lobbying to create new laws and to change and combat ones that are negative. We also reply to news reports. Many times you'll hear of something happening at a storage facility. Unfortunately, there have been, just like the rest of the world, rest of real estate types, there are accidents that happen at self-storage. One thing that we were very concerned about as an association, and it's fortunate the industry had an association, of the major terrorist attacks that have taken place on U.S. soil, they have all started. 3 or 4 of them have started from a self-storage facility, you know, where they were storing goods. And then, so this is something we didn't want the government to then begin to regulate each facility thinking it was a problem. So we have been successful in doing that. Networking, providing a forum like this so that you can all network with quality vendors, like those vendors that have sponsored this event, from security systems to property management systems, information systems, construction, building components. It's very important to see the latest technology. Communications, we have a national publication, the SSA Globe, and we distribute a Monday morning report weekly via email. And this is something that you can start off. It's very inexpensive to put together a newsletter that can go out to all the members, educating them about your efforts. Executive education and employee training. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Without an association, you may have somebody involved in the industry outside of your association, or if an association doesn't exist, that is too aggressive in their tactics. Maybe they're charging too large of late fees, or they throw the things out of the storage unit into the street when the unit becomes delinquent. Or maybe they are discriminating against a certain type of tenant. Or maybe they're doing something else. Maybe they're allowing people to live in the storage units. So these types of regulations and this type of education through others, outreaching to others in the industry so that they can have a best practices model to their business. It protects the entire industry. We have research reports. It's also important in the U.S. we overbuilt. U.S. is very good at doing this, unfortunately. And we never learn our lesson until we get hurt, and then we forget the lesson and we learn it again. So demand is very important. It's very important to work with consultants to calculate what the demand is within a certain market so you don't overbuild, both in number of facilities and the size or the number of sizes of at an individual facility. We also conduct a demand study across the entire U.S. as an association so we can determine which markets are overbuilt. And all the members can have access to that. Makes them more aware and more responsible about development. Web technology. The SSA has a very good website for members to access all of this information electronically. And the way we are structured in the U.S., we have a national association, and then we have affiliations to all the states. And we work closely with all the states. When we're trying to promote legislation locally on a state level, it's very important for us to be connected with the local state officials, a lobbyist that's local. So we have a structure of a national association, which provides an umbrella, and a lot of state associations that are connected to the national in this way. We also have association third-party management. In states that are too small or don't have enough members, the National Association will come in, create a charter association, and then run this for the state. Membership relations. It's important for us to have a staff at the national level to answer questions that the members have. So we have a full staff. We have publications that are important to promote those best practices of operations and marketing and legal. And those publications cover those areas. We also have formed through an outside party the Self Storage Legal Network. And it's important to have attorneys that know the law in each of the states so that you, as members, have reference and access to good legal representation to draft your lease so that you can have a strong lease that conforms with the law. And in cases that you have an issue with a tenant, that you have some resource that understands the industry. And as a new industry, you're going to have to train somebody, train attorneys. They're going to be learning as they go as the new laws are being enacted, new regulations. So here's the self-storage in the U.S. after 40 years. Approximately 48,500 primary self-storage facilities. This only counts the facilities that have a manager on staff and enough units to warrant an office. So very small facilities that are 20, 30, 40, 50 units together are not counted. So 48,000, it's an impressive number. Average size facility is 46,500 square feet or 4,320 square meters. There are 2.32 billion rentable square feet in the U.S. or 215 rentable square meters. That equates to about 7.32 square feet per person, or 0.68 square meters per person. That's based on a US population of 316 million, almost 317. That's 78 square miles of self-storage roof, or 202 square kilometers. 85% of our business in the US, of owners of self-storage, are what we call small businesses. So it's very entrepreneurial. 15% of the facilities are owned by 5 public companies. So they own a very small percentage of a very big business. 32% of the facilities are classified as urban, 52% are suburban, and 16% are rural, or kind of country, out in the country. Gross revenues in 2013 estimate, $24 billion US. To give you some scale to that, Hollywood is 21 billion. So that's about 54 billion Brazilian reals. So what could self-storage be just in Brazil? This is my guess. After how many years, I'm not sure, but these are my projections based on what we've been able to do. 31,600 self-storage facilities operating in Brazil in average size, same, 46,500 square feet or 4,320 square meters, 1.47 billion rentable square feet, or 136.7 million rentable square meters. At 0.68 square meters per person, and about 128 square kilometers of roof. We'll see what percentage of them are still classified small business, and what percentage are owned by public companies. But the gross revenues, I think, should be somewhere in the neighborhood of 34 billion real. A big business. Here's the build-out of the U.S. in terms of the age of self-storage facilities. The busiest period for ART growth was from 2000 and 2009. And that's when 33% of all the facilities in the U.S. were built. So you can build a lot of facilities in a short period of time. So before 1980, it was only 17%. And that really effectively, since the late 60s to 1980, about 17%. 1980 to 1989, 23%. 1990 to 1999, 25%. And then 2010 and beyond, only 2%. We did learn something from our overbuilding experience. And the busiest markets have been the Northeast in 2000 to 2009. And you may not know this, but in the U.S., on the East Coast, where Virginia is located, 2/3 of the U.S. population is within 500 miles of Virginia. So we're very East Coast. Our population is very East Coast biased. These are the publicly owned or managed facilities in the U.S., and it's color-coded here. So the dark green means that 17% or greater are owned, of the primary facilities are owned in those states by public companies. The lighter green, next shade down, is those facilities that are 10 to 17%. The lightest green is 6.3% to 10%, and then under 0 to under 6.3% are states where no public companies have very small presence. So as you can see, California and the states of New York, Virginia, Florida, the public companies have a strong presence. This is the first half of 2013, what occupancy in the U.S. The average occupancy in the U.S. is approximately 87.8%, and that's after overbuilding in the mid 2000s. And I'll talk about this more later, but our problem was it was a little bit overbuilding, and much more had to do with our housing crisis. In our housing crisis, the home value in many cases, in over 23% of the case in all households in the United States, 23% of the time, the mortgage or the loan for the house was more than the value of the house, which meant if you sold your house, you had to give more money to the bank. So people stopped moving. And what we saw throughout the country, in varying degrees from state to state, but mobility, the number of moves that people made, just dropped. Self-storage needs people to move around. Mobility rates are the key. So as you're looking at markets, you want to look at markets where you can measure the one-year residential turnover. So our slowest market right now is the Southeast. That's one area that was hit the hardest from a housing standpoint, and I'm sure, as David will tell you, it's coming back quite strong. And that's also where the biggest investment recently by public companies has been.